Are you saying that you didn't underestimate Francis at all?
No, didn't underestimate him. I trained for 12 weeks, give it the best preparation I could have done, and that's it.
Is it just a coincidence that Spencer Brown, Tyson Fury's manager, hours after Anthony Joshua's devastating second-round knockout win over Francis Ngannou, has revealed why Tyson Fury underperformed against the same opponent that Joshua so soundly beat? He's saying 3 days before the fight, Tyson Fury couldn't sleep. 3 days. Fury didn't want to say nothing, so not to discredit Francis Ngannou. Well, are you not discrediting him now? But we've got it all sorted. He's cured. We have a new camp and everything is wonderful. Until, or if, Usyk whoops his ass, then the damage control will continue. It's no surprise. You saw how uncomfortable not only Tyson Fury looked, but Frank Warren, ringside, front row, watching Anthony Joshua do something, in my opinion, he could never do. Yeah? Oh, we didn't have no tape to study, but Fury's supposed to be the best at making adjustments. He didn't train properly. Isn't this the guy who has notoriously walked around press conferences and around saying, look, you're going to get beat by a fat guy. This is for all the fat guys. Well, if you're representing the fat guys and then you underperform, let's not hear, oh, it's because you didn't train properly. Being a fat guy is supposed to be good, isn't it? I don't care about all that bodybuilder shit. Look at me. I still kick all the bodybuilders' asses. Well, the bodybuilder deposited him on his ass and arguably won the fight. No more excuses. Not for Anthony Joshua, not for Deontay Wilder, not for Tyson Fury, not for no heavyweight. Yeah? If you're getting paid 50 million, I believe it was 50 million to fight Francis Ngannou, go get a sleep therapist or some medication to help you sleep. Obviously check that. It's in compliance with VADA. Like, I'm looking forward to May the 18th, and then again I'm not looking forward to it because that right eye that Fury received the cut in sparring, what if that splits open and ends the fight prematurely? It's going to be unsatisfactory if Usyk's hand is raised with Tyson's eye cut. And obviously the Tyson fans are going to scream blue murder that he would have won if it wasn't for the cut. Even though nobody's questioned what he was doing sparring without a head guard so close to the fight. And Spencer Brown, I like Spencer Brown as well, but being Tyson Fury's manager, he's going to be forced into damage control, telling us what Tyson would have did if he wasn't cut. Perhaps they should have rescheduled it for maybe September. Although I know a lot of people can't wait. But you know, if we're impatient, fight takes place in May, eye splits open, you're going to be even more frustrated than having to wait a couple of months. I was just watching, is it Ariel Helwani on the Knockout Chaos? He revealed on the Knockout Chaos show that there's no real excuse for Tyson Fury, that he didn't have no tape to study. Why? Because apparently, you know what Ben Davison did? He didn't just look at, oh, we've just got the one fight with Tyson Fury to see what Francis can do as a boxer. They studied Francis's MMA fights. That's what they did. They studied his MMA fights. And it makes sense because, okay, his stand-up game is his trump card. Just like Conor McGregor's. Apparently he's not a good wrestler. I don't know how good he is on ground and pound. But yeah, they studied the MMA fights. And I'm sure they got a lot from doing that. I'm sure there's lots of sequences where it comes down to Francis and his opponent in hand-to-hand pugilism. And whatever Ben Davison, Lee Wylie, AJ and the rest of the team did to prep for that fight, hey, it worked.
Would you say he was better than what you thought he was?
We didn't know how good he was or how bad he was. There was no footage of him. Never seen the man fight before as a boxer, and that was it.
There he is there saying there's no footage. Well, Ben Davison and Lee Wylie got around the footage issue, didn't they?
Half of these people thought he was going to beat me. I know I can see all you lot. You lot all thought he was going to beat me. So I just do what I do my best. We got the job done.
Anthony Joshua fights Tyson Fury. How does that fight go?
Oh, that's a
great fight.
Great fight, yeah. We're looking forward for that.
How does that go?
Oh,
if you had to predict.
That's good, yeah, hard to predict. Yeah.
AJ or Fury? I've got to get you to pick one.
Anthony.
Okay.
Manny Pacquiao was ringside Friday. He's picking Joshua to win if AJ and Fury ever fight. Barry Jones, he still thinks Tyson Fury will win. Dave Caldwell, he says AJ will knock Fury out.
And so this fight is going to be interesting, in my opinion. The Ngannou Joshua fight is going to be another interesting fight.
Talk to me.
I know what everyone is thinking, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, this is my fighter in me now. That you want, like,
That's the one I want to talk to.
Joshua acts like a fighter. He's an actor. Everything he does, look at his mannerism, look at everything when you look at it right now, he's acting like a fighter. Everybody want to talk about, how great he looked against WYLIE. He sparred with WYLIE before. They fought each other before. He knew exactly who WYLIE is. He knows who he is, right? Listen, Anthony Joshua acts like a fighter. When he's looking around, he's got this whole demeanor where he's just like serious, and he's acting like a fighter. You look at Ngannou, when he speaks, when he's looking at you, he look like a predator. He look like he just want all the smoke. He's not worried about anything. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the bright lights. This is a fight where Joshua gets stopped in the middle rounds. I'm telling you, this is the fight. That's my prediction with this fight. After watching him with Tyson Fury, in my opinion, Josh didn't look any better than against WYLIE than anything else. Joshua going to get stopped. He's not ready for that smoke mentally. I know he got a new trainer in Ben Davison, which I respect a lot.
October Red, much appreciated. Sub the channel. The channel is in the description box. The video where ZHANG'S trainer, Sean George, former victor of Chris Bird, ended Chris's career literally. You heard what he had to say, yeah? I listened to the whole interview. It's a good interview, but that was his take on what was going to happen on Friday. And you know something? October, I held on to your video in my watch later, waiting for this exact moment to pull up the receipt on his blood cleans. Yeah. Joshua the actor acts like a fighter. He's not ready mentally. Yeah. That's what they've all been saying. He's mentally weak. He acts like a fighter. He's media trained. He ain't got a chin. Well, hold that. True Geordie. I didn't listen to the audio. Are they saying Mayweather predicted him to lose? Jermaine Franklin, Carlos Takam, understandably, that's his fellow Cameroonian. They all picked against the boxer. You know what I mean? And there's a lot more. So anyone saying he only beat an MMA fighter, he was supposed to do that, I'm not listening to that. There was lots of people who were predicting AJ to lose, or if not, they were rooting for him to lose. I always say that's fair news. You can root against who you want, pick against who you want. But you're also going to get checked when you try and discredit the person who you picked against. It is what it is. So I'm pulling their whole cards today. I haven't spoke about the Crawford-Chris EUBANK fight. And I don't really want to spend too much time on it because Terence Crawford hasn't confirmed this. No promoter has confirmed this. Chris's promoter is Cali Sowland. Haven't heard nothing from them. So where is this coming from? But a lot of people are giving it a lot of airtime, and that's the problem that, you know, I've been guilty of it, giving too much media to stories like this. Why is Terence Crawford going to move up to 160 to face Chris EUBANK, and there's not a world title on the line or anything? It's not like he can become a 4-weight champion by fighting Chris EUBANK. Secondly, where's the fight going to air? EUBANK is not known in America, he's known in the UK. So Terence is going to come over here to fight EUBANK at 160 with no title belt. Because the PBC are probably not going to pay Terence what he wants in America for that fight. So I'm not going to spend no more time on that until I hear something more concrete from a promoter or Terence Crawford. Crawford's been out the ring for 8 months. The media said he's a free agent. Well, if you're a free agent, it shouldn't be hard to make a fight. So what's going on with Terence Crawford? It's not like it was a taxing fight with Errol Spence last July, that he shouldn't be back in the ring or at least have a fight announced by now. Doesn't make sense. You know, there's been perfectly good contenders for him to fight, and I'm not saying he swerved them. That's not what I'm saying here, but either the politics or his story against his story has got in the way. What's happened to the Boots Ennis fight? Well, Boots Ennis now has one of Crawford's belts, the IBF belts. When's Boots going to fight next? And then there's contenders like Stanionis. Stanionis stepped aside a few times to let Errol Spence fight Crawford, and I believe you guys, maybe even Danny Garcia. I'm not sure. I'm not running around to do all the receipts like that, but there's been at least 2 or 3 step aside. He's been inactive for 2 years. Yes, a PBC welterweight, and a good fighter too. 2 years. And he's asking, well, what's happening? He stepped aside. Virgil Ortiz pulled out sick with a big fight he was supposed to have with Stanionis. And he's been inactive for 2 years. And he wants a shot at Terence Crawford. But Crawford doesn't seem to have nothing lined up, nothing planned, nothing announced. Surely he couldn't have put all his eggs in the Canelo basket. And once that fell through, it's like, okay, what do we do now? That just sounds ludicrous. Here's Boots on Twitter the other day saying, doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm going to do everything I say I'm going to do. Sounds good, but he hasn't fought since July. What's that, 7 months inactive? There's talk that he's going to sign with Matchroom or he's going to sign with the PBC. Doing the boxing maths, perhaps Crawford's guarantees for lesser draws than Spence, for instance, at 147 at the PBC are not bankable fights. But what about Stanionis and Boots? They can't make that fight, and I don't want to hear that Boots isn't PBC when he fights on PBC cards. That must be a makeable fight. Damn good fight too. Funny old game is what Jimmy Greaves used to say about football. Well, boxing, no different. Joe Joyce has not won a fight since September 2022, where he stopped who? Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is coming off the best period of his career. 2 back-to-back wins against Deontay Wilder and this Saturday's ZHANG'S, while Joe is basically scrapping to rebuild his career after 2 back-to-back losses to Zhang, the man who Joseph Parker beat. Funny old game, Greavesy. Funny old game. He takes on Cash Ali in a 10-rounder in Birmingham. I do actually. A fight is expected to win easy. Joe Joyce is 15-2-0, 14 inside the distance. Cash Ali is 22-2-0. The result shouldn't be in doubt. What we will be looking for is how Joe looks. Has he added anything to his craft? Because don't be surprised if Cash Ali does find Joe easy to hit, even if not able to hurt him. And that won't bode well for Joe going any further than this level, because his issue to me has always been he's too easy to hit. I think he'll grind Cash Ali down by around 5, perhaps earlier, but I'd say 5th round. I'll be looking for improvements in the technique is what I'll be looking for. The main event is the 18-0 34-year-old British champion Nathan Heaney, 6 inside the distance, taking on Brad Pauls, who's 18-1-0 with 10 inside the distance. Nathan is coming off a huge win, outpointing Denzel Bentley for that British title at 160. I think it'll be a points victory. Nathan not a huge puncher, but he can box pretty well at a decent tempo. Can Nathan go beyond British level? Does he need to add a few things to his arsenal to go beyond British or perhaps European? We'll see with this performance. This is the main event. Zach Parker, he's had a win or 2 since losing to John Ryder. He's still in rehabilitation. He takes on Tyrone Zug, the German, who used to have that WBA interim title that he lost to Rocky Fielding. Liam Taylor, 15-0-0, 7 inside the distance. He attempts to become IBO Super Bantamweight champion, taking on Eric Ayala, who's 15-1 with 9 inside the distance. He's from Mexico. He's pretty useful. He took Lee McGregor's unbeaten record last year. I saw that fight, so that should be quite interesting. And there's a lot of statistically well-matched fights on this card, which I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. On the 17th, Sunday, Dillian Whyte makes his long-awaited comeback against Christian Hammer in Ireland. Dillian, another person who beat Joseph Parker, hasn't fought since the 23rd of November 2022, when he controversially outpointed Jermaine Franklin. That was on the back of the Tyson Fury loss, where he tried to get the WBC title. Strange performance by Dillian, was very subdued in the build-up. He was then supposed to fight Anthony Joshua in 2023, and then the adverse finding cropped up in his VADA test. He was pulled out of the fight, and he's been in exile since, and he's coming back now in a card licensed by the Boxing Union of Ireland. I'm assuming the fight's taking place out there because shit isn't straightened out with the British Boxing Board of Control. Now, he says he's always wanted to fight in Ireland, and I don't doubt that for a second. But we can talk about all that at another time. Christian Hammer's lost 3 out of his last 5. Dillian will be expected to win. If he doesn't, then it's a long way back at 35 years of age. So it's good to have 2 domestic heavyweights on the comeback trail, trying to get their ish back together over the weekend. Thomas Carty, an Irish heavyweight prospect who's on the card. He's managed by Dillian. I'll be looking to see what improvements he can make. The broadcaster for the Dillian card is yet to be announced.